My name is Todd Rich. I am the program manager in the School of Continuing Studies, and I look after the accounting program. And basically, I've been in this role at York for about a year and a half. And prior to that, I worked at another university doing a similar role for about 14 or 15 years. So I've been doing this for quite some time. I try and explain my role as I look after running a business. So in this case, the accounting program is the business, and I'm responsible for everything that happens within instructors, curriculum design, worrying about budgets and retention, those good things. But I often say that the most important thing I do is making sure that the students have a positive learning experience. So again, looking after the curriculum, making sure that you're having a learning experience that's fit for our program. So that's really the main role that I have. I do not teach any of the classes, and that's important as we go through this, this session today. So I, again, run the program, but I'm not a content expert. So if you have any specific questions around content or CPA, if that's something that's your interest, then we can certainly talk about that offline, or I can go try and get the answers and get back to you. So just a quick agenda for today. So some people may be familiar with York, some people may not be. So I'll just give you a 2-second little overview of who we are. I'll obviously talk about the accounting certificate. I'll talk about the in-person and the online formats. I'll talk about CPA just to give you a sense of how that all works. I'll talk about the application process. And I'll even go onto our website and show you what that looks like in detail if you haven't been there yet. And at the end, I'll answer all your questions. We have a nice sized group today, which is great. So I'm happy to stand as long as people need to answer all of your questions. Just 2 quick housekeeping items. Some of you obviously have already used the question box, so that's great. But if you have questions, feel free to send them my way. I probably won't answer them until the very end, just because it'll be hard to sort of look off and try and look at them and present as well. I do have 3 screens up, so if you see me turning my head, it's not because I'm distracted or checking my email. I'm just maybe looking at something else that's on the screen that's related to this session today. I am recording it, so everyone will get a copy of this later. So if you need to jump off for some reason, that's fine. I will share this back with everybody. And maybe you've got your supervisor or manager who's curious to learn more, or maybe you've got a friend who wants to learn some more, so you can always forward the email that we send out to them. So here's a little quick overview of York, if you're not familiar with who we are. We are the 2nd largest university in Ontario and the 3rd largest in Canada. We have over 50,000 students, 7,000 faculty. We have a very large international student population, over 12,000 students from 178 countries. So big university, lots going on, exciting place to be for sure. And we're just a short train ride to Toronto. We're still considered Toronto, but the heart of Toronto, it's a short train ride. So I'm just going to do a quick poll just to get some information from you guys so I can, you know, kind of personalize the session a bit. So give me a second while I just pull up the polls. Okay, so the first question I wanted to know is, which format are you interested in? The online, which is sort of the part-time, or is it the face-to-face, which is full-time? Give another second or two. Perfect. Okay. So you can see from the results that a large percentage of you are actually interested in the face-to-face, which is great. We have a lot of students who participate in our face-to-face program here on campus. And obviously there are some people who want the online, which is fine, because I'll share information about that as well. And I'll actually compare the two just so you can see the difference. Okay, great. The next question. I was just wondering if people plan to pursue the CPA designation, if that was actually one of your personal goals or career goals. I'll talk about it, but just want to know how much detail to go into. All right. Great. Close that. I'll share that. So you can see from the results, most everyone was a yes. One person, I think, or something said no. And then there are several not so sure. So that's perfect. I will definitely talk about the CPA requirements and let you know how it fits into our program. So great. Okay, last question. I was just wondering how many people have a background in accounting. So if you've taken a previous program, a lot of times students, so they're international, have a whole degree. Sometimes people are working, but they don't have a credential. So just trying to understand where people are coming from. Give people another second to respond. All right, close enough. So interesting, everyone has some experience, which is perfectly fine, either working or studying, which is great. So no worries about that. Okay, perfect. Let me hide that. Let's go back to my PowerPoint there. Okay, so anyway, thanks for sharing that bit of information. That'll just help me personalize the session a bit as we go forward. So who are our students? They're obviously university or college graduates because you need a degree or a college diploma from Canada to enroll. And most people have limited or no accounting experience, which in this case is actually false for all the people that are on this session. But having some experience is not a problem. Obviously, we do allow some transfer credits, so we can certainly have that conversation offline. And I know a lot of people, if they're international, they're coming here to sort of get some Canadian credentials, try and maybe get a work permit afterwards, and maybe make Canada their home. So it is quite common that those students do have a bit more experience. So good for you if you do, and in this case, there wasn't really anybody who didn't, but if you didn't, that's not a problem either. And the students who come and do our program are, obviously in your case, not so much newcomers to the field, but career changes, people that maybe started in a different pathway, then they realized that they wanted to find more of a specialized career in accounting. People who are upgrading their knowledge, so they already have some experience in accounting, and they want to get a credential, and obviously other people who are just trying to fulfill the CPA designation requirements. Okay. So why should you choose our program? So I've just created this slide just to give you a little more details and some of the features and advantages and benefits. The fact that we have two formats is one of the features, so you can do the program, as you know, online or in person. It just gives students some more flexibility to kind of pick the program that best works for them. And if you're doing it part-time, you can obviously work and balance family and home life and all those good things. Our programs are fairly condensed. So the online program will take you 1.5 years to complete, and I'll share some more details about that, but you're basically taking one course at a time, which allows you to balance, again, the life and work and family. And the in-person, face-to-face version is fairly condensed. It's only 8 courses, and it takes about 8 months to complete. So the courses and the topics come at you pretty fast and furiously. I'll explain more about the schedule, what that looks like. Sometimes having a bit of experience in accounting or some coursework in accounting does help you, obviously, in that case, because it's not the first time you've heard the material, learned the material. So in many cases, it's just kind of a refresher. But it is a lot of material in a very short period of time. So it's a benefit, but it's also something just to keep aware of in terms of time management. All of our courses that are part of the CPA designation have been recognized by CPA. So by completing our program, it's a real benefit that you know that you'll actually moving forward to earning your designation through them. And the last thing is it's a cohort format. So if you're not familiar with that term, it basically means that the students go through the program together as a group. So the students that are in the first course are in the same people are in the second course, and the third course, and the fourth course. So you're not picking individual courses and, I can't take courses this term. You're actually making one purchase for the whole program. And that really just allows you time to build connections, a support network. And even when it comes to finding jobs, you'll sort of have relationships with your peers. And maybe somebody works at a company that you are applying for a job for. Maybe they can recommend other places that they know of that are hiring. So it's a really nice feature for us and really does help the students, especially as we get through the condensed face-to-face format. Having that peer group does have a lot of benefits in many ways. So I won't go into the details of every single course. Obviously, a lot of you have already had some accounting experience, so you probably can recognize the titles and know a bit more what's in the course. But I will just say these are the 8 courses in the foundation program, which is what we're talking about mostly today. And then I will also give you some information on the advanced program just as a little commercial. But basically, you can see that these courses that are in black are the courses that are aligned with the CPA designation. There are 2 other courses that we include in the program, which we feel are actually maybe the most important courses, because at the end of the day, there's going to be 1,000 people who have an accounting degree or a diploma or a certificate, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times the companies that are hiring know that, and they don't test you on your accounting knowledge because they know everyone's got a very similar background. What they do care about are the soft skills. And in this case, we have a course called Professional Competencies in Business. It's actually changing to be Business Communications, but for the purpose of today, it's called Professional Competencies. And that course really helps you in presentation skills and communicating in a business setting. And these are the skills: problem solving, teamwork. Those are all the skills that are really important to get you jobs and to help you stay in your job and be successful. The capstone course kind of ties all the courses together so things aren't seen as a one-off in economics and stats, but you kind of combine them all to sort of see how all these fit together when you're working in an accounting or a financial setting. Oops, I didn't. Okay. Oh, that's good. So the advanced program, which is the second part of the program that we offer, which is a separate program. So if you finish the first one, you want to continue on, these are the courses that you would need to take in the second one. You can see that they're much more focused in accounting, corporate finance, accounting 1 and 2, advanced financial accounting, taxation, auditing. To be enrolled in this program, if you take our first one, you're obviously enrolled. If you're just doing the advanced program, these 4 courses that I've sort of highlighted here: Fundamentals of Financial Accounting, Intro to Managerial Accounting, Economics and Stats. Those are the 4 prereqs to get you into the advanced program. And this one also has a capstone. Okay. So I'll show you how to get to our website. You can see more details and look at the course descriptions. But this is just a high level of what the program includes. So let me give you a little sample of the schedule. So this is what the in-person schedule looks like. And actually, this has changed a little bit. I should have updated the slide, but it just changed recently. So anyway, as a concept, you're going to be in classes starting in the fall of next year. In classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So we just made a slight change to that. But more importantly, you can see that in this case, you're in the same class on Monday and Thursday, and you're in the same class on Tuesday and Friday. So it just gives you a sense of the fact that you're in classes, 2 classes at a time, like in a block. Each class is offered in the same room at the same time for the duration of the program. So once that's been set, you can kind of figure out your other, if you've got a small job, if you've got some family obligations. So you can kind of work around that schedule knowing that that's the time that you'll be in class. Each course runs for 6.5 weeks, and there are 13 sessions, and there are 3 hours for each class. So you can see here from 9 to 12 on Monday, Tuesday the same, Thursday the same, Friday the same. And you should probably budget around 2 to 3 hours per day on top of the in-class work for homework, readings, practice activities, all those other good things. So you're probably thinking about at least 6 hours a day of work related to your accounting program. This is just the schedule for the online. You can see it's a little bit different because our online program is asynchronous, which means it's not, not sure why it says that. Hopefully, oh gosh. Sorry, my accounting program, my PowerPoint just stopped working. So give me a sec to get that back up. That was odd. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry, I think we're back up. So you can see here that the program For the online is throughout the week. So it's one course at a time. It's asynchronous, which means it's not live. So there's no time during the week you'll have to be online at 8 o'clock to participate in some lecture-y discussion. So you can read the textbook for a couple hours on Sunday. You can post a discussion board. You can send emails to the instructor. You can watch the videos, practice the things on Tuesday, and you can see the different time throughout the week. So the total amount of time is about the same between the in-person and the online. It just depends on when you do the activities online, which makes it very flexible. And that's really why a lot of people will participate in the online, because it gives them the flexibility to have other commitments and activities in their life. So some of these things I've already kind of mentioned, but I'll just kind of go through and compare the two. So both in class and online, they're facilitated by instructors. So don't worry about the online. It's not self-directed. You're not on your own doing the work. So there's always an instructor who's facilitating it, giving you updates, sharing information, answering questions, and they're always available. I talked about the time and the difference, but again, 2 courses at a time for in-person, 1 course for part-time, about the same amount of effort each week, and again, 8 months to complete versus a year and a half. Both in-person and online will have assignments and activities. They may be different assignments and different activities because the learning format is different, but that is part of the program. Grades and those things will be, when you have an assignment, you'll get graded on it. You'll get a final grade, obviously. And the number of students in each program is slightly different. The in-person is obviously much larger than the online, even though that's sort of increasing recently as well. But it is a little less for you to manage. And as I said, asynchronous, which is not live, versus all the sessions obviously are meeting at the same time. So here's just some information about CPA, because everyone on the call initially said that that was their interest. So to earn your CPA designation, it's quite a lengthy process. The first 2 stages revolve around our programs and the courses that we offer. So the first program I showed you, the postgraduate certificate in accounting, that's like step 1. And step 2 is the postgraduate certificate in the advanced accounting program. And after you finish those 2 sections, which would take you about 2 years to do if you did them back to back, then you sort of jump into the CPA PEP modules, the work experience, which can sort of happen at any point during the timeline. And then at the end of all those things, you have to sort of do a final common exam to ensure that the competencies that they require you've met through our courses, their PEP modules, their mentoring program. They have a mentorship program as well, and obviously the work experience related to your specific specialization within accounting. So it's a fairly long process, and then once you've completed that, there you go, there's the balloons. You get your CPA membership, which has lots of benefits, where you're really working at a high level in the accounting finance world. You're not doing debits and credits, but you're really doing more strategic work, helping companies financially at a very high level. So that's the process. It does take some time to get through it, probably a few years in the least, but the first 2 definitely are done through us. Okay. So here's just a little example of the schedule. I'm going to show you in a second our website, but just so you know, the in-person for the winter at this point is closed. We're not accepting any more applications. We are full. So I apologize for the inconvenience if that's something that people were thinking of doing. And for the fall term, which is the next offering, the dates will be posted soon, and the applications will typically open in January. So be on the lookout for that if that's what you're thinking. But unfortunately for this upcoming winter term, if that was your hope, we've already received more than enough applications, and we had to close it. Again, mostly it's because it's based on the classroom size. We just don't have the classrooms to have more students. For the online program, that is obviously still open and available. So if that's your interest, you can still register in that. And just so you know, for the online, for the foundation program, which is the first one, there is no application process. So you can just sign up for that. No application required. The in-person does require an application, which is a degree plus if you're an international student, You need an IELTS score, total score of at least 6.0. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about your application and where you might fit on the language scale. And again, dates for the fall and dates for the online, that'll come soon, sometime in January. We're just working on that specific stuff now. Okay, I'm going to jump off for a second to show you the website. I see there's lots of questions, so I'm going to answer them all, but let me just show you one quick thing first. So give me a second to just change my screen. Okay, so I think everybody can see my screen now. So you've probably already seen, this is our website. This gets you to the different programs. So there's the foundation, postgraduate in accounting. This is the online. This is the full-time version, and the same for advanced. I'll just go into the accounting one because they're all very, very similar. Just again, give you a quick little show you around a little bit. So there's a video from a past student. It talks about the program delivery. There's the CPA information. That's the map that I showed you before that I just gave you some more details. There's another little CPA map which you can take a look at, and this shows you the jobs that you're qualified after you do our first program versus our second program, and then obviously when you finished. There's information here about the different courses. So again, if you wanted to see the different course titles and a little more about what the course entails, you can kind of learn there. Information for international students and domestic students. So lots of good information. I encourage everyone to peruse the website, and that's a good place to get a lot of the information that you need. Here's our program policy pages around the admission requirements. So again, if you're an international student, here's the IELTS requirements, language proficiency. There's the full-time degree requirements, what you need to have earned for grades. So again, lots of information. And for the online program, it says that the winter is open, but I can tell you that at this point, we're not accepting any more applications, so we have to take that down. You can see there's a different fee for the international students versus domestic students. So if you click on, let's say, domestic, it takes you to another screen, and you there's a fee for the application, and it'll walk you through all the steps to then apply. And then once I've accepted you, you'll then obviously come back and enroll in the program. Okay, so that's a bit about the website, just to give you a little look around, but I'm sure you've done that, but I just thought it might be helpful in case you have not, just to help you navigate it a bit better. Okay, so let me go back to my slides. Okay, so I'm going to now answer all of your questions. I see there's a lot there, which is great. I'll leave this slide up. This is just our contact information. We have an advisor. If you have questions, Elizabeth can answer all of them. Allison's our registration coordinator. She can help with your application or payments and stuff. You can call on the phone. You can email. You can come into the office. Obviously, it's best if you do that to make an appointment, but students sometimes do just drop in. So, I'll keep this up so you can jot that information down, but I'll jump now to your questions, which I see there's lots, which is amazing. So let me just go through them. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the student that asked the question has left. Maybe not, but I'll answer the question anyway. Okay, so let me just go ahead. Again, you see me looking off from the camera, it's because the questions are on a separate screen here. So I'm looking there, looking at the questions. So somebody was asking about the minimum requirements to be admitted into the program. So again, it's a degree or a 3-year college diploma and a minimum of a 60% in the degree. So that's the basic requirements. So then Anon also asked if a 3-year European degree is okay, and that's fine. So if you've got a 3-year degree, that's fine. I believe to get your CPA, you need 120 hours degree, but I believe that our program will fill that last year of your credits. So if you have a 3-year degree, plus our program gets you to the 4th year or the 120 credits you need for the CPA requirement. Okay. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. So Fave is asking, I have two questions. Does it include computerized accounting courses? That's the accounting information systems course, and it does include some Excel. It does not include QuickBooks, I believe. I'm not, again, I don't know the content of each course that much, but I'm not sure it includes QuickBooks. It's more actually professional accounting systems more than QuickBooks, and there's lots of tutorials and online QuickBooks kind of things you can find on YouTube, but our program, I don't think it's in too much of the QuickBooks stuff. The next question, Fav is asking just about, Fav has completed some courses through CPA, which is fine, you've been exempt. I would exempt you as well. So if CPA exempts you, then not a problem, then I will do the same. So easy, that's on transfer credits, and that one's really easy because if they've approved it, done, I've approved it as well. So hopefully that answers your questions. I'm trying to delete some of these. Yep, so Anand is asking about the IELTS band. So it's 6. We need a 6.0 overall. You need a 6.0 in writing and speaking as a minimum for those two components. The other ones can be a little higher, a little lower, but the ones that we deem the most important at this time as you start the program is reading and speaking. Writing and speaking. Sorry, writing and speaking. Okay. So someone's asking, yes. So for international students that are looking to do the 1 year, let's say, foundation program and then get a 1 year work permit afterwards, it is, yes, considered a, it does meet that requirement because it's 1 full academic year of study. So students who do the program can then get the 1 year work permit. If they do the postgraduate certificate, which is like the foundation program, and then they do the advanced program, which is 2 years of study, then they actually get a 3 year work permit. So that's a nice perk for international students if that's their goal. So you can do the 2 years of study with us and then get a 3 year work permit. So you actually be in the country for 5 years, which does afford you lots of opportunities to network. And if getting a permanent residency is important to you, then obviously you've got some time to sort of build those relationships and networks and make that happen. So Rika is just asking about the fall 2019 start. Our plan, we're just confirming the schedules now for fall, and we hope to have the dates up shortly, and we'll probably have the application itself up in January. So certainly be on the lookout for that. And I assume that our marketing people will kind of reach out to the prospects, which I think now you're in our database. So you would learn when those applications come online. Okay. Great. That's good. Thanks, Rika. So Sujay is asking if it's necessary to have work experience to enroll as a full-time student in the program. The answer is no. So students who have no experience at all in accounting can take our foundation program and be accepted just the same if you have experience. I don't look at experience at all in terms of making my determinations. Most times it's a first come, first serve in terms of the number of seats we have available, as long as you meet the minimum requirements. So I don't collect them all and say, oh, this person has some experience in accounting, they're a better candidate, or this person has higher grades. I just do it on a first come, first serve. If you meet the requirements, you're in. And when they run out of spaces, then those other people get put onto the waiting list. Okay. Okay, so Nathabo is asking, I moved from CGA to CPA PEP, which I have to complete professional competencies, capstone the advanced taxation. Can I still take these courses with York under the diploma? So a little tricky because in terms of the program we offer, it's a cohort-based program. You have to sign up for the whole thing. You can't sign up for individual courses if you need 1 or 2 courses. Unfortunately, that's not possible. I will say, if you are in the advanced program because you met the prereqs, and you're missing 1 from the foundation, like business law or something, then I have let students sort of do that. But as a general rule, you can't come in and just take 2 or 3 courses and be done. You have to do the whole program with us. So hopefully, Nathabo, that answered your question. Okay, these are great questions, guys.